Guys, what's up? Welcome to part 2 of my Marker Mondays series. My name is Smith Ellis. I'm an artist. And today I want to show you guys how to do my characters. We call them Hood Character Mondays. And these characters are just people that are normally people that you see walking around the neighborhood that is of low income, hood, ghetto, whatever you call it. And they're usually, wearing vintage things or broken up, tattered. But I just kind of give it my own mix and put my own spin on it. So basically, the first video that I did, I didn't have any markers. I basically only had like 4 colors, but I recently went and bought some new ones. We got this right here. This is the secondary tones. A bunch of these are, you get them for like $50, but I think you can go to Michael's, you can go to Hobby Lobby, any local art store, And we also got some gray tone, grayscale markers. These are very important. So if you're trying to draw leather, to show just the texture of a leather bag, leather sneakers. Me personally, I draw a lot of leather sneakers, so I want to show, I don't want to just do one flat black layer. It's kind of attractive. It looks uncool, And always gotta have your markers on deck. 005 through 08. You can get these at your local store as well. $2 a piece. Also, obviously, you're gonna need a pencil. You can use a mechanical pencil like mine. This is around $8, $10, something like that. You can also use these right here. These are just your 2B through 4B or the 4H as well. That works too. And these skin tone pack, you're gonna need this as well. They come the same price as these Copic markers here. They're usually $50, but if you're lucky, you can use your coupon. You just gotta go on the site, the Michael site. So follow me on Instagram at @KingSmith_. That's where I have all my other artwork, along with my digital work and my paintings and my production musically. So let's get into it. Yo, welcome back to Marker Mondays, second installment, Hood Character Mondays. I'm sharpening my pencil right now, 2B to be exact. Let's get started. So, I had an inspiration from watching a lot of boxing videos like usual. I'm really fascinated with the art of boxing. I'm really fascinated with the sport, the spirit of it. I really love the energy of the fighters. I really love the belts. I love the colors of the pants. I love the shorts. I love the boxing gloves. I love the different colorways and textures and things like that. I just love boxing. I love boxing. I even do it a little bit myself. These characters, I want to focus more on who they might be if you don't know them. The last character I did on my first one, if you've watched it, and if you haven't, you can go to my Instagram at @KingSmith_. It's my last IGTV post. You should see, I think, about a 9-minute, possibly 10-minute video, my first Marker Monday video ever. That's also on YouTube on this particular page here, Smith Ellis. You can find it there as well. It's different from that. That character was just a guy who was just, I didn't really have many colors, so I wasn't really able to express myself the way I wanted to. But that guy was more chill. He was chilling, but it was cool. But I want this to be more lively. So you got to know a little bit about anatomy, a little bit about male anatomy. You got to kind of know where the bones go. You got to know where the shoulders drop. You got to know where the neck ends. It's kind of like you're making a caricature, but also keeping it human at the same time. You don't want to go too far off where it's so distorted, where it looks like an alien or something, unless that's what you're into, and that's all right. That's okay. So yeah, you can see I'm putting down, I like to call this like the underlayer. It's like a skeleton to the final product. It's similar to like a demo, to the final And I hold my pencil like this. A lot of people ask me, why do you hold your pencil like that? The reason why is because you are able to get a gesture of the character. Holding my pencil like this, like normally, that's more for details. You can see how I'm using the very tip of the lead to get in the eyebrow, to get in the eye, to get in the nose, and to really show you the details and my ability to draw details. You want to hold it the other way just to kind of fill up the page and get it quick. Like, oh, by the way, that was an eraser. That's called a kneaded eraser. And you spell it Kneaded. And it's just like a clay-based eraser, rubber-based eraser. That's like, well, most erasers are rubber. But it's just like it doesn't leave shavings. That's why I really prefer and suggest that any artist that is drawing and using these markers and illustrating like this, you need a kneaded eraser. If you don't have one, please go find one at Michael's, Hobby Lobby. If you're from New Jersey, you can go to Jerry's Artist Outlet in West Orange, New Jersey. Just go somewhere where they have these erasers, because if you use the regular eraser from like a number 2 pencil or just like a regular school pencil, it'll kind of rip the paper up, because you don't want to use like a dollar store cheap hard eraser. It's very, very, very impactful, the type of eraser you use. Trust me, I know. Moving on to the character, back to the character. You guys really got to just be quick with this. Just be quick. I mean, this one took me a little while because it's a little challenging when you're pulling from your imagination. You don't have a reference in front of you. You're not even thinking about a picture you saw once. It's just, like, I draw a lot of people. My art is mainly about the human condition. That's what I focus on, the human condition, and spiritual things and faith and fashion and music and just culture, like cultural stuff, cultural things, but you want to just imagine like an emotion. You want to give your emotions a face. This is what I tell people, every time they ask, how do you make these characters? Where do they come from? I just think, okay, if I think about the word ego, or I think about the word fearless, it's like you want to associate an image in your mind and then put that on a piece of paper. I was given a gift from God to like see art before I do it, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people could relate to that. And if you don't relate to that, that's okay. I could probably explain it longer in another video. But yeah, so you want to just really take your time with your art. Don't rush it. Don't try to just get it done, get posts and get likes. Like, you want to really define yourself. You want to really perfect your craft, and that's a gradual, eternal process. But you want to really see yourself getting better. You want to compare yourself to your old art, the art you made yesterday. You want to see what you can do differently and how much you've grown. And you want to take your time with it. This thing that I'm doing right here, what I'm doing right here right now, I'm actually using the brush marker from Micron. I usually use 005, 01, 02, 03, 05, and 08. Normally I use those markers when I'm outlining my art, but lately I feel like I'm enjoying the freedom and the boldness of the brush marker. It's just like a paintbrush. It's as if you literally dipped a skinny brush into some ink, like comic ink, comic book, Marvel ink, if you know what that is, or black paint, and I'm just kind of just using a brush. I love the feeling of having a pen or a marker that feels like a paintbrush. It makes me feel like I'm at home, coming from using watercolors and things like that. So this step right here, I was just going over the hair and like leaving openings of paper. Your paper is actually your best friend. Ironically, you can use the whiteness and the brightness of the paper as your shine or shadows or light source. You can do that. I did it in the hair if you look closely. Right now, I'm just adding the detail and defining the detail of the eyes and the headband, and also just adding on to the halo, That's one of my signatures. A lot of people do that now and things like that, but it is a meaning. The meaning behind it is just about angels and spirit and faith and things that I believe in and what I stand for. And I feel like we all have the ability to be positive and loving, and the symbolism of halos for me, if everyone's asking, because everybody asks, it's about healing, and I feel like we all need that, you know what I'm saying? And that's what my art is about, healing and the human condition. So yeah, make your art what you want to make it. It has to be about you. Don't make it to look like somebody else's. Make your art. You have the ability to do it, you know? So this step here, I'm adding on to the underwear. I got the boxes kind of hanging out. I don't know if you ever seen like a homeless guy or just like a young kid, bad little kid walking around the hood, and his underwear is kind of like hanging out, you know what I'm saying? Or it's just too big for him. Something like that. That's kind of the energy I was going for. I want it to be, like I said, my art is raw. Like, it's real. I'm transparent. I'm honest. And I wanted to really represent what I've seen growing up in the hood. Like, that's what I've seen, you know, coming from Newark, New Jersey. That was all I would see. So my art is really just what I've seen, and I'm projecting it to the masses and to the world from my perspective, pretty much, you know. And yeah, it's fun. It's special when it comes from your experience. That's what art should be. Don't just draw something for the likes. Like, draw something from what you've really experienced. It's way more meaningful, trust me. Here I'm adding on to the hair. I just added little sideburns. I did a little bit more defining with the marker. So now it's time to erase. Kneaded eraser, of course. As you can see, it's really strong. It picks up all of the lead. I just really drew really hard this time. I should have kind of went a little softer, but even though I went hard on the paper, it still erases, you know. And also ignore that picture on the left side. That's another project for another day. Don't look at that. Yeah, you see I'm shaking the table up a lot because I had to put a little bit of elbow grease just to kind of get it off. I wanted to get it as clean as possible, but I kind of like the dirtiness of it. I like how dirty and grimy it look because it's Hood Character Mondays. You feel me? We gotta be hood. We gotta be real. We gotta be ghetto. It's okay, you know. Leave your art like that. It's okay. Messy is actually a style. It don't gotta be so clean cut. I leave my clean cut style for my digital art, you know, occasionally. So we're using the E00 out of the skin tone pack. It'll run you about $47 from any store, Amazon. You could use your coupon at Michael's if you are near one. I think you can get it for half off right now if you go today. If you're listening and watching this today, you should run to Michael's right now because I got 2 packs for the total of $50 as opposed to spending $50 for one. So yeah, go do that. You need that. I'm using the E00 right now just to put down a base layer for the character. This is, I mean, he looks Caucasian right now or Asian, but that's really just, you want to put that layer down because that's where your shine is going to be. You're going to see this as like where the light source is coming from. This is the part that you don't cover all the way up. You don't want to just put 5 layers of brown down and he's just a brown character. You want to show dimension. So I'm making this up. I let my light source come from the top right, technically, and I made it work. You know how I felt worked best. I gave him like a little black eye. You can see his right eye is like puffy because he's a fighter. You know, he's a boxer. You know, not many boxers come out unhit like Mayweather. You know, this is also just a symbolism of life. It's not just about him being a real boxer in a ring, a physical ring in an arena. It's the arena of life, you know? It's really like boxing your demons and fighting your demons and, you know, trying to get through the day, taking it one day at a time, and you get beat down, but you still standing, you know? So, like I said, you want it to be meaningful. If you're making meaningful art, you will gain your followers, you will touch people, you will leave a legacy, and you will inspire people if they feel what you feel, and if they feel who you are. That's what you want. That's what you can go to sleep at night knowing that you're doing. That's what you want to focus on. So when people ask me, you know, how do I build my following? How do I, you know, get more likes on my art? Do not focus on drawing bait. Bait, I mean a rapper. Drawing a popular rapper to because that person is hot right now, and anything about that person is hot, so you know it's gonna get likes. So da 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 da. But at the end of the day, what will you be remembered for? Are you gonna be remembered for drawing the cool pictures of a person who was hot only for like 2 years or 2 summers, or are you gonna be remembered for somebody who made art that made people feel something, and to this day still feel something, and it's timeless, and it's a legacy, you know? So focus more on, be legacy minded. That's what I want all my young artists watching this to feel. Be legacy minded. Think about your legacy. Think about what people are gonna remember you for, what type of art they know they can expect from you. That's what the viewer wants to feel. That's what the young artist coming up should focus on. You know, I'm not forcing you, I'm just suggesting. You know? So back to the drawing. Right here, I'm using an E18 to do the darker shadows, because like I said before, my light source is from the top right. So the opposite side of the light source obviously is the shadows. So you can honestly, I could have went earlier and put the shadows darker and just kind of blended it in reverse. And what I mean by that, I could have just went shadows first and then built around it and went lighter. But I ever since I started using Copics, I think for the last 6 years, I really feel more comfortable going light to dark. And I think everything should be light to dark, because it's hard to turn an all black canvas white. You know what I mean? So you want to move forward. And the colors, when you buy the Copic markers, they come in the order where you should use them, from light to dark. So do that on a paper, that's all. So now that I've taken care of the skin, I'm moving on to the pants. The pants, I was gonna go red with yellow, but I forgot that I didn't buy the right pack, which I'm gonna probably do that tomorrow or the next day. Because I think Michael still has that 50% off coupon that you can just pull up on your phone on the website. I think that yellow and red would have looked really cool with the green headband. I think that would have been pretty sick. You just gotta know like your colors. You gotta know your primaries and secondaries. You gotta know your color theory a little bit. You don't have to be an expert. I'm not an expert at anything. I'm learning. You know, I'm a student. I mean, you guys are watching this. I'm teaching you, but I'm really the student. You know, that's reality. So yeah, I went in the order that the markers came in. They go from light gray to dark gray to black. These are not cool gray markers. These are actually the neutral ones. I prefer the cool gray because it looks pretty cool with the skin, because the skin tone pack has a cool brown tint to it. It's more cooler. It's not as warm as it could be, as warm as some of the other brown markers are that I've seen. Just trying to make them fly, you know, add it onto his swag, his style. Like, I put the green on the side, the stripes. Like I said, I use my paper to my advantage. So if you don't have like a white gel pen, which you can go back over the colors and create shine, like I usually do, I have to also buy a gel pen. I just reminded myself. You could use the paper as a shine. Literally go around it, use the shadows. So I'm using a dark green to go over the light green that I just did to show that the pants are made of silk. That was the texture. So you really want to show the texture, you know? And I felt like the orange would be cool for the underwear. This particular color I did not have the shadows for, but just like painting, you could use gray, but try to use the medium color. It's like light gray and dark mixed together. You don't want to go too dark. But I use the gray as the shadows of the orange. If you don't have the actual color, different shades of that color, always remember that you can use gray, a light cool gray or a neutral gray, to form the shadows, as you can see on the underwear if you look closely. And it doesn't look bad, it works, you know? And sometimes it looks a little better than having a dark orange to go over a light orange. It looks cool, you know? So here I'm using these Faber-Castell brand. I don't really like these, to be honest. They kind of rip the paper open. They're so wet. I don't know why they do that. When you use them as coloring, as if I'm using them to fill it in like the Copics. These Faber-Castells are really good for detailing. Like, I just use it for a tattoo. I just made up a flame tattoo on the right arm. I put a tattoo on his face, his left side, and I put like a little face intertwined with another face tattoo on the left arm. And yeah, and here I did the boxing gloves. I didn't really have the shadows for here, so I just did the red and just went over the red multiple times to create a darker red. Just let it bleed in because it's alcohol based. So yeah, and you can always do that too if you don't have the other color or a gray on hand. just use the color and go over it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Use the gray for